options of that? Can it be, is it not a good idea to have a board member at their home address or a business address?
No,
or?
let's, my advice to you would be to let me list it at the office, 1427 3rd Street, until we lock in something, either with the Floresville Volunteer Fire Department or whatever. That would be my advice to you all.
So as that mail shows up there, and can our secretary, the president, anybody retrieve that mail?
Sure.
Okay, I'll just open.
I mean, there's folks there for sure. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. There's lawyers that practice out of the office. I have several board clients that I'm their registered agent, so I
Get their mail.
for them. That's one option, and Wilson County itself extended the offer to do a temporary website for the board as well at zero cost. But y'all,
So, Mr. Gleason,
Yo,
what are y'all doing on ESD4 as far as the physical address?
basically, we're doing what Tom asked us to do. We do have a mailbox, and we are setting up, we contracted with a young lady last night to set up our website.
So, your mailbox, is it at
It's in Pope.
And the city of Poth.
P.O. Box or just the city
It's
of
the
Poth?
city address Poth. At the city hall in Poth.
Okay.
We're using their address.
Okay.
Yeah. And right now, we consider that our meeting place and things like that.
So we locked that down.
Okay.
all this is gonna change. Right now,
Right.
you need
It's
to
all
accomplish the
temporary.
goal, but the goal doesn't have to be the final goal that you want
Right.
to accomplish. I don't think it'd be wise to spend money on something that you may end up not using, but it's up to you. But the ESD4 did take action last night to get a website designer to assist them.
She's out of Poth, she's local,
How are y'all paying for her?
right now she's doing it on, until October, she's doing it, just donating her time. And then she'll bill us on October.
Okay.
But we've also gone ahead and are going forward with either Fall City Bank, I believe. And in line with Fall City Bank and looking at doing a short-term loan to cover our attorney fees, to cover our cost of when we went to Galveston, to pay for that until we can figure out where we're at. And just a short-term, you mentioned that earlier.
ESD
Line of credit, kind of like, yeah.
So, Mr. Caldwell's doing that pro bono for us, so I guess y'all are paying.
Yeah, we're
Y'all
stuck
are
with
paying
it, you
our
know. You just got here tonight for the first meeting. And as you can see, SD4 will pick up your slack.
Perfect.
You know, by the way, you will turn briskets by yourself. No, just kidding.
Okay. All right, Mr. President, so I make a motion, our official address, go with our attorney said, until we can generate some funding and possibly change that at a later date, but the official address would be, what'd you say, 3rd Street?
1427 3rd Street.
1427 3rd Street, Floresville, Texas 78114.
On the bank end of it, if I can just.
Yes, sir.
When we were at that conference, Frost Bank does a lot of ESD stuff, financing. The problem we saw with that, we haven't touched them yet, is because them being in San Antonio and not having a local down here, it's hard to interact. You'd have to be somebody have to be driving back and forth to San Antonio. Fall City, our initial meeting with Fall City, we haven't voted yet, but our initial meeting, I'm assistant treasurer with Fall City, was very amicable. They do this, they do it with the city already of Poth, and they know about lines of credit, they know about the text pool. I'm not using the right term, but for excess cash that we're going to have, and they're well familiar with that. And they also know how to work with file and at the appraisal district to kind of get an idea of what the money's going to be funding wise.
And we're also looking at multiple institutions. We're not just focusing in on one.
Right.
We're looking at all of them.
Right.
And we'll probably end up with more than one.
Right.
We're gonna have to if we deposit.
Right.
Mr. Cawthon here did a presentation last night about being, because we have to have two different CPAs, one for the state audit, one for local, and his firm, we talked to his firm last night about becoming our CPA.
For your local or for the state?
For local. and for the state. Well, we also entertained a buyer group out of Pleasanton
We've
and.
looked at a lot, we've got some leads on different people,
Right.
and we're gonna call them in one by one and visit with them and see if we can best fit our needs.
You were right, that is textbook.
Yeah, text pool is for.
That's where you run your extra money in,
Extra
because you
money.
can't go over the
Yeah.
250,000.
We had a, get back to the motion on the.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
address.
so on C, we've got 3 or actually 4 different items to talk about.
Mr. Bippert has a motion on the table. that
So
there's consent.
I'll repeat my motion, is that we do use 1427 3rd Street, Floresville, Texas 78114 as our official address temporarily until we can change it if we want to or whatever.
Okay, so there's a motion on the floor that we use the 1427 3rd Street, Floresville, Texas 78114, which is the law office there with our council. I have a second on that.
I'll second the motion.
There's a motion and a second to have our mailing address 1427 3rd Street, Floresville. That is open for discussion again, right, if we need to?
It is open for discussion, and you
Jacobs,
also.
How involved is it to change it?
As simple as y'all taking another motion.
Who do we have to notify then?
Right now, I guess safety would be the only people we have to notify.
That's really, I don't see that we're gonna be receiving anything until we
No,
get
I don't
everything
either.
moving.
But it would check a box that you're supposed to accomplish.
You have another option that you'd like to see? or-
I'd like to see our own personal P.O. box. So nothing's gotta be changed later. We're done, it's official. This is our mailing address.
So if we go and create that now, how would we fund it?
The member can pay for it and be reimbursed.
And
Why
also,
did
we
you
can go
receive
to
a
the
mail
bank
here?
and set up our account as
Right.
ESD is.
How?
What?
Yearly fee.
Yearly fee. Yeah, but I mean, you could receive mail here, you could put a put a box out here, couldn't you? You could put a mailbox out here, couldn't you?
You have to get approval from the post office.
So,
Well, I don't think that would be a good idea with the fire department, am I correct?
Secure.
It's more secure over
I
there.
think ultimately you guys probably don't want to get a P.O. box. And I also, I know we're in the middle of a discussion on an open motion. I'm also willing to pay the fee for the P.O. box to get it for the district and then bill it later. Mr. Jacobs isn't wrong, get it done right the first time and you don't have to
You're done
redo
with
it. However, this has been kind of a discussion. I want to, the board needs to do a lot more communicating.
I'll move, do you want another motion?
Well,
The motion on the floor, I'm gonna move to amend the main motion, and that's Robert Rules of Order.
it's generally the person who made the motion that amends his own, but go ahead.
To create, to get our own post office box, and our council will pay for the post office box until we have funding.
Do we have a second on that amendment?
I will second that if the council does agree to pay for that bill at a later date.
Do it, and I'm just gonna carry it as just a new motion.
Okay.
Okay,
Well,
so the
so-
new motion on the floor
Now,
is that
So-
we,
Go ahead.
we're still in discussion.
No, I'm just saying that we need to can the first motion then.
Yeah.
We need to address
You
the
need to do
first.
that.
I'll withdraw my initial motion.
I would draw the second.
So
Second to that.
the
Okay.
initial motion to
So,
get the mail address at 1427 3rd Street has been withdrawn by Mr. Bippert, who made the motion. The second has been withdrawn by Mr. Jackson, who did the second. So in the new motion now is that we do get our mailing address set up as a P.O. box here at the Floresville Post Office.
so, Mr.
The-
Jacobs, do you mind making that motion?
I'll make
You
it.
amended my motion, so.
I'll make it.
Okay.
And then be sure and stipulate that the attorney will be paying for the fees until the ESD has funding.
So now the new motion made by Mr. Jacobs is to get a post office box here in Floresville for our mailing address. And that our legal counsel will cover the cost of that box until we are,
ESD has funding.
we have funding to pay for it ourselves.
And I'll second that motion, Mr. President.
And we have a second by Ryan Bippert. Is there any discussion on that? I think we already discussed it. So that, we'll go to a vote. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Motion carried. So we will be getting a post office box here in Floresville. Do you want to take care of that, Mr. Jacobs, or who should take care of that, or?
I'm gonna take care of it. You'll
You're
just
gonna take
vote
care of
for
it?
You had those costs. Mike, can I see that a second, please? What size you want? 4 by 6, 6 by
Smallest
6,
one,
6 by
probably.
12.
I say the smallest one, maybe.
There you go.
Wait a minute, don't they change your number when you need to go to a bigger box? Yes.
Okay, they will change
They
your
will
number,
change
your
your
PO box
number,
number.
yep.
Yep.
How much mail y'all get?
Let's say there's nothing going there.
Magazines. That we know of. But,
But I-
you know, it's, these things are gonna change, and we're gonna have to, we've decided that, you know, we know things are gonna have to change sometime.
We're gonna have to make those changes.
And we're gonna have to make those changes, and we're just willing to deal with it.
And we're looking at the city of Poth picked it up for us, so
Yeah.
let's use their address.
We've gotten a lot of help from
Do
them.
do y'all mind paying $35 for 6 months for a 4 by 6? That's my
Kind of
dyslexia.
upside down.
$53 a month is what you, 6 months.
That's for 6 months.
6 months for a 4 by 6. That's the current expense at the post office. No problem?
We gotta do it. I mean, we're gonna, eventually, we're gonna be $106 a year, $112 a
You
year.
can still get good brown envelopes like that.
No.
Yeah.
Believe me, they'll come in there.
Alright.
I don't think we're gonna get no Amazon Prime or anything in there.
Okay.
So,
They
All
did
right,
say
so-
if it was a package,
Don't hurt my way.
they will put a key in that mailbox, and then they will tell you what box
Yeah.
they
You
put
do a
it
partial
in.
They put a key or they put a
Yeah.
yellow, because I have
Yeah.
a PO box
Tag.
person.
They'll give it to you.
They'll give you a tag and you can go get that.
So that takes care of the
Address.
address. Now on a website, you said the county offered,
The county offered to temporarily just add a page on the Wilson County's website. It'd be a one-page that has the requirements of the law.
so we will be up to par on our
We'll be
website
up to
deal
it.
with that.
But it's just gonna be a one-page
Right.
with, it'll have board
The
members'
info
name
that's in it,
and
right.
an email to contact the board. Yes, they would do that, if y'all wanted to.
Okay.
Temporarily
I say we
fix-
get something going for email, and if it's free of charge for now, and it puts us legal, I personally would like to see that. And then maybe we can start working with somebody to produce a website. I think we have bigger fish to fry right now than a website, but at least that gets us legal. Anybody else have any? opinion
Mr.
about
President, I move that, I make a motion that we use the county free of charge as what our council has alluded to,
Okay, is there
to
a
do the
second?
website.
To do the website temporarily.
Temporary.
Is there a second on that? Mr. Jacobs seconds that. Do we need any more discussion? Well, I guess the motion is that we have the county who has offered to furnish us a page on their website for us to use temporarily
At no cost.
at no cost. That was a motion by Mr. Bippert, seconded by Mr. Jacobs. Do we have any discussion on that? Doesn't look like it, so we'll go ahead and take a vote. All those in favor, say aye.
This is a
All those
matter
opposed,
of,
no.
I get you to have this somewhere,
Okay.
Mr. Acting President. The Open Meetings Act changed. Every agenda item, you're supposed to open it for discussion if you're gonna take an action like this.
Okay.
Is there any discussion, any citizen comments?
All right. So should I backtrack now
No,
and go
you're
back to
fine.
discussion?
Did y'all just vote?
Yes, it carried, yes.
4-4.
Yeah.
I'm just kind of, we're learning,
That's
everybody's
fine.
learning.
Yeah, I need all the help I can get. So that takes care of the website, the addresses. Do we have any other intention of a financial institution? I know Mr. Yates, I believe, is gonna look into that. He's not with us right now, so I can't get a report from him. Anything else that you fellas have, board has, under this item that we need to discuss?
So do we need to, is Mr. Yates gonna look into that, or he is looking into that?
Well, I think he was, the last meeting he had mentioned that, well, until we had some funds, he was gonna kinda just hold off.
That's correct. And now that
So I think we need to start looking into, possibly looking into a line of credit.
Based on what we've heard here from ESD4, I think that's something that we do need to address.
what banks do the city of Floresville use here in town? Or Wilson County? What bank they use?
Fall City. Fall City National, Fall City Bank, I believe they use South
South
Trust as
Trust
well.
would do it too.
They use South Trust as well. They have several banks. County.
Those are our local banks.
You want to contact Walter and tell him to check into South Texas?
South Trust?
South Trust, I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
we can.
Banking has to be set up before y'all get
Any
tax
any
money.
funds.
That needs to be done.
Right.
So I'm gonna make one statement on that. Fall City National Bank's in Poth, which is not part of our jurisdiction. I'm not sure if the one at 775 is, and it's on this side of the
That's
street.
not our jurisdiction.
So I would lead towards something that's actually in our jurisdiction, which would be
South Trust, Wells
South Trust,
Fargo.
West Fargo.
South
That's
Trust,
just
Wells Fargo.
a statement that I would.
Randolph Brooks.
Randolph Brooks.
Yeah.
So that's something that is actually in our ESD5 jurisdiction.
South Trust did finance a truck for us. It
Yeah,
was all
they-
going through
the
that other
compressor
deal,
too.
and it all,
So
South Trust stepped up and
So-
really made a good deal.
either we need to give Mr. Yates some direction on that, or we need to
Well, I think-
get him some help.
That's where Jeff can come in, he can get a hold of Mr. Yates and tell him. meet
I will
South
will
Trust.
get a hold of Mr. Yates, and I will tell him.
Because it's
to
gonna
let's get
require, I
rolling on
think,
that.
two of y'all, you
Right,
and
two
him.
signatures, right.
Yeah, the president and the treasurer to go over there
Right.
and meet. And I think you're assistant treasurer, right?
Right.
Yes.
Might wanna meet over there.
I don't think it hurts to have three names when you get two out of it in case somebody's not available.
No, just,
Anyway, that's all.
yeah.
Real quick, back to the
Oh, yeah, I
PO
think
box.
it's the
How many
whole
keys
board,
do I
we
need?
can do it to two.
I'd say
Secretary.
a secretary and
Secretary?
two
Okay.
then probably,
Yeah.
just to have another backup.
Well, I will get some keys and I will tender them both to the secretary. Is that fair
Okay.
enough?
Sounds good to me.
Fair enough, Mr. Secretary?
Yes.
On item C, is there anything else? Else that you take care of? Oh, yes,
Before
sir.
you all head off to the bank to do your loans, you know, it's kind of, this brings it all back into all back into focus. What you were talking about before, what your equipment needs may be, what the next year's gonna look like. You gotta do some legwork first. They're not just gonna write you a check because you walk in and say, we're gonna get these loans, or we're gonna get these taxes, and you actually have to put together some type of a capital expenditure plan for it.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why I was mentioning about what are we gonna need to do to get this line of credit? How much are we really gonna need?
Right, but you see how it all ties back together really quick. I
And that's where your
mean,
appraisal district's gonna come in and say, we have the potential of collecting X amount of dollars.
oh no, I got that, but they're not gonna just write you a check without a plan.
No, I'm just saying, when you go to apply for a loan, well, what are you worth? I don't know. You know, you gotta be able to tell them something. And that's where your appraisal district's gonna come in.
Okay, so we've done our motions we need on item C, we can move on, correct?
Yes, sir. Anything I would add to that is negotiations, I'm doing or ongoing. I'm gonna meet with the department, talk a little bit more in depth. I have a feel, I think, for what the board is kind of thinking. And I will discuss that with the chief.
Okay. And you'll come back to us on that. Yes, sir. Yeah.
So I got one statement on item C.
Go ahead,
It
Ryan.
starts out as reports. If we're gonna, a report is a report. That's a non-action item. So a report is a report. If we're gonna take action on something, it needs to be a separate statement, or it needs to be a separate item on our agendas. Just so we can have a report, and then we can also have an action item. But we've had action items, 3 actually, on
In
a
one.
report item. Yes.
Okay. Anyone else? We're gonna move on to, letter D, which is discussion and possible action related to the creation of an official district name and a mission statement. I would open the floor to anyone here. Any comments?
ESD4, what is y'all's name?
Wilson County, we haven't voted on a specific name, we did come up with a mission statement.
Okay.
And Jim, correct me if I make a mistake on this
Go
thing.
for
I wrote it, but I don't.
And we edited it.
That was
I didn't bring it
yesterday,
last time.
folks.
Yeah. You get your, you don't have, Tom, you don't have it on,
I don't, but to be honest with you guys, y'all didn't take action on it, you're gonna do that at the end of the month.
I know, but it's just our proposal was, for us to think about it, was providing,
To provide
High
high-quality emergency medical services in an efficient and caring manner
to the people
to
of
the
our
people of our
district.
district.
Simple, straight to the point.
Well,
And we're
our mission
hoping that
statement
if we
needs to
can
be a
keep-
short.
Yeah.
We're hoping that if we can keep everything we do pointed to our mission statement,
Keep your focus.
then
Yeah.
that keeps us focused. And we will not be going this way and that way and whatever, we'll have a straight line to what we
That is the purpose of a mission statement.
And we put it out last night, and for us to go home and think about it, and we'll take action on it at the end of the month.
Are you meeting twice a month?
Yes,
We
sir.
are.
I was gonna ask you, when could I bring up about if we could meet twice a month?
I think you can bring it up right now, sir, we can tie it into this, that if we
I
have
would-
2 meetings a month, you'd be able to get more of this done.
I would like to have an opening discussion on that. I would really personally like to do that. Mr. Gleason?
I just
go ahead.
wanted to mention that the reason I brought it up for ours to have 2 meetings a month, it keeps a continuity and a momentum going. When you wait a month, you kind of lose the momentum that you've got built up. And you're not checking on things and people are kind of lackadaisical and getting things done. Well, I've got another week to do. But if you have 2 meetings a month, it keeps you moving. It keeps your focus on what you're doing. And that's the reason I suggest we do the 2 meetings.
To Mr. Gleason's credit, we've also, when we assign a task, we usually assign it to 2 people. One to be in the primary, one to be in the backup, so that way you don't go into the situation you have now where you have somebody who's sick and couldn't meet with the bank or whatever, and then that way the secondary guy picks it up. For me that's on the road, I'm a secretary treasurer, so like meeting with Mr. Crossan or something like that, I was able to do most on the phone, and so that's how we do it.
So any other discussion we wanna have about a name? Or the mission statement? I think the mission statement can't be decided right here. I mean, either one of them.
We're gonna have to
Well, I
come
like
for
the
a
mission
logo for it
statement,
also.
said just cross it out and put ESD 5 on it. No, I'm serious, it's a very good mission statement.
Carrying
So
and-
we're not
And
EMS.
with fire and rescue, that's right, and to make it ours. You know, we're in the same city, or neighboring in the same county, so, I mean, that's a very good one.
Well, one thing I would like to say to you is we very much want close cooperation. My history with Wilson County EMS, which went back many years, and Toby over there, and I taught classes together and all that kind of stuff. It's, we've always had a really good working relationship, and it's important to our citizens that we maintain that relationship and keep that cooperation and, selflessness out of it. We gotta do what's best for our people, and that means that we have to work together
Correct.
very closely. That's why we came tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all coming out, supporting us. But y'all are taxpayers too, so
Yeah. Well, we have some ideas that later on, when you guys get established on hanging, where we think we can work together with you guys and do some interactions, interagreements.
Sure.
Where we think we
Yeah,
get
there's
there.
gonna have to be.
We've already done some looking at growth in the city and some other things, and growth of the county, and done some many feasibility studies and talking to some people about that we'd like to pass on to you at a different time.
You don't have to take action on the item, sir.
Right. Can
Or you
we-
could take a different type of action if you think additional meetings might help.
I'll say, can we need to talk about this? That way, all the board guys, we have some time to think about our thoughts.
Of course you do.
Name, mission statement.
Sure.
How do we need to do it to set up another meeting, say in 2 weeks?
24th.
We can discuss, well, the 24th, ESD 4 weeks.
So they're on a Tuesday night also?
They're on the 4th Tuesday of the month. Y'all are on the 2nd Tuesday.
31st?
31st is wide open.
31st?
Maybe the way to do this motion, to keep it within this item, would be that we discuss, we want to have a extra meeting this month so we can put this item on there for reconsideration. District name and mission statement. And then, of course, y'all will be able to add any other agenda items you want to that meeting too.
Because it'll be a regular.
Get a logo designed also. So what day are we looking at?
The 31st?
31st? Good for me.
31st of March?
Yes, sir.
Day shift.
Can we make it, when is it? Can we make it the 30th or the 1st?
Yeah, y'all aren't limited to a Tuesday, by the way. Y'all could do it any other
I hate to do it on April Fools, but, but
The 30th, I'm available on the 30th.
I'm good with 30th.
when was y'all's meeting?
The 28th, ours is the 28th.
On a Saturday?
No.
Right here's the calendar.
Well, they meet on
They're
the
on the
4th.
24th.
They meet on the 4th
Or the
Tuesday.
24th,
They're
yeah.
regularly scheduled is on the 4th Tuesday, and y'all's is on the 2nd Tuesday, but their special meetings that they're having off from those,
Yeah.
they just set
Yeah.
them when it works for the board.
Okay.
So what is it?
I'm working the 31st, but I can get off if I have to.
What about
Mike?
what about the 30th?
30th, I'm fine.
Care.
No, you're good with the 30th?
I'm good with the 30th, I'm off shift.
So there's 4 of us that are good with the 30th. We don't know about Mr. Yates, but, so.
Mr. Yates will be working on the 30th.
Should we go back to the 31st then?
Will he be working that day?
He won't be, but I will, but I'll get off.
Yeah. If we gotta go to the 1st, I can get off for, I'll have somebody come in and cover for me because during the meeting.
I can get off the
I'm good
30th.
any day.
Well, let's do it the 31st, I'll get off.
You all right with that, Mike?
It works for me. I don't go back on shift till the 1st.
So we're having a meeting 31st at 6 p.m.
We need
Where?
a motion?
Oh, where?
Back to the,
Might as well.
where we been, well, I guess we need to, as long as it's okay with, we can get that room.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Yeah. Well, I gotta double check that, I do. But I don't think there'll be an issue.
Where are we at?
The old school, where they vote now.
4-H room?
Okay.
4-H room.
Okay.
That's March 31st?
No, yes.
Do we need a motion?
I don't
Yeah.
believe you do, you just, if everyone agrees, you can just, read it out in a special meeting.
What time?
So you can call a special meeting as long as we give proper notice.
Yes,
Okay.
it's not an
So
action.
then we're going to have a meeting on March 31st. It'll be at the, at 6 p.m.
Mhm.
back at the county building where we had met. Our previous meeting, the 4-H room, I don't know what number it is. I think it's number 6.
Room 6.
Yeah.
And it's located at the Courthouse Annex, Room 6, 1103 4th Street.
All right, sure. Anything else? Yeah, that's gonna be, we'll do that next.
Everybody can go to that.
Right.
Or the numbers, otherwise.
So we'll add that to the agenda. We don't need to add that. Okay.
So Mr. President, how do we address, us as a board addressing agenda items?
Right now, everything, when he sends out a email,
So do
Email
we
back
send
to
him
him?
stuff that we would like to be on the agenda? And then,
or you can send him stuff you want on the agenda.
yeah, that's what I'm, okay.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We don't have the president, well, technically, we don't have
We
a
need to,
president right now.
yeah.
But,
We'll take care of that next meeting too.
But yes,
Yeah.
that'll be on there. But the board sends me the items they want, I put them on there.
And then any items that we need to discuss.
I make suggestions as well.
Yeah, there's time sensitive stuff. Okay.
Where the acting president needs to be in on that so he can decide whether he wants this meeting to go on to 1 o'clock in the morning or 10 o'clock and shut off. And Jeff has got the final say on what's gonna be on that agenda.
When you said it,
You can do
he's
it that
asked me
way.
before, hey, what do you think you wanna add?
Okay, long,
Yeah, no,
that's how
he's-
it's discussed.
Yeah.
We can do it that way. I usually work with the presidents I work with, they want everybody's input.
Most definitely. That covers letter D, am I correct?
Yep. No further business, looks like.
No other business on the agenda, is there a motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion.
We have a motion to adjourn this meeting at 7:42, is there a second?
I'll second that.
We have a second, so we have a motion by Mr. Jacobs to adjourn the meeting, and we have a second by Mr. Grifford. All those in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, no. Ayes have it, meeting's adjourned at 7:42.
Who's our secretary?
Mr. Jacobs.
There, Jeff?